Let me ask you something. When was the last time a day genuinely surprised you? Not in a small way, but in a way that made you feel truly alive. For most people, that answer comes slowly, uncomfortably, because somewhere between growing up and growing older, days started blurring into each other. Routines calcified, mornings became mechanical, and the gap between the life being lived and the life that was imagined quietly widened one wasted morning at a time. I spent a decade learning why that happens, and more importantly, how to stop it. What I'm about to share with you is not theory. These are not borrowed words dressed up to sound wise. These are principles carved out of real confusion, real failure, and hard-won clarity. 7 of them. And if even one of them lands the way it landed for me, today could mark the beginning of something genuinely different for you. So settle in, and let's talk about mornings and what they're actually trying to tell you. Principle 1. Time has already started without you. Here is the first thing you need to understand. The starting gun already fired a long time ago. The problem is that a large portion of people are still tying their shoes, still deciding whether they feel ready, still waiting for the right conditions to align before they commit to moving. And while they deliberate, the race continues. Not maliciously, not unfairly, just inevitably. Because time has no mechanism for patience. We were never promised a life that waits for our comfort. There is a version of you that fully grasps this, and it terrifies that version a little in the healthiest possible way. It understands that the idea you keep turning over in your mind, the one you've been meaning to start, the conversation you've been putting off, the habit you keep planning to build, all of it, is losing ground with every morning that passes without action. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and stoic philosopher, wrote to himself in his private journal, "Do not behave as if you have 1,000 years ahead." This was a man who commanded an empire, reminding himself daily that he was not exempt from the laws of time. That urgency was not optional for him either. It is not optional for you either. The morning is where this truth lives most fully. That quiet window, before the demands of the world crowd in, is either used deliberately or absorbed by default. There is no neutral position. Mornings that are not chosen are simply surrendered. Think about the people you admire, the ones who built something meaningful, who developed mastery in their craft, who created lives that seem intentional and full. Almost without exception, they share a common thread. They stopped waiting for a better moment and started treating every available moment as the one. Not because they were born with more time, but because they refused to pretend they had time to spare. You do not need a dramatic overhaul. You do not need to transform overnight. You need, starting tomorrow morning, to wake up and make a conscious decision before the day makes it for you. That is where it begins. Today, I move. I do not wait. Principle 2. You cannot give from a place of nothing. Somewhere along the way, neglecting yourself became confused with being dedicated. People wear exhaustion like a trophy. They skip meals, shrink their sleep, and override every signal their body sends them, all in the name of productivity, responsibility, or sacrifice. And they genuinely believe they are doing the right thing. That suffering through is the same as succeeding through. It is not. There is a critical distinction between pushing through temporary discomfort to grow and systematically dismantling your own health and stability in the name of busyness. One builds you, The other quietly hollows you out until the day you have nothing left to give, not to your goals, not to the people you love, and not to yourself. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus was clear on this. The inner fortress must be maintained. If you allow it to crumble through neglect, through carelessness, through the accumulated weight of things left unaddressed, everything you are trying to protect crumbles with it. This is not a permission slip for laziness. This is a call for intelligent stewardship of the only vehicle you were given. Your body carries your ambitions. Your mind processes your decisions. Your emotional state determines how you show up for everything that matters. If any of those are running on empty, the output suffers no matter how hard you try to push through. Two people can wake up at the same hour and arrive at midday in completely different conditions, based solely on what they chose to do with the first 30 minutes of their day. One feeds the chaos. One builds a buffer against it. The honest truth is this: taking care of yourself is not indulgent. It is structural. It is the maintenance work that keeps everything else functional. And neglecting it is not noble. It is, in the end, deeply irresponsible to yourself and to everyone who depends on you. Start each morning by asking, what does the person I am trying to become do for themselves today? Then do that. I invest in myself daily because everything I am building runs through me. Principle 3. The past is a teacher, not a landlord. Most people have a complicated relationship with their past. They visit it too often. They let it issue instructions. They allow events that are over and unchangeable to continue shaping their present in ways that serve no one, least of all themselves. Regret, unchecked, operates like a slow leak. You may not notice it draining you at first, but over time, it empties the tank. The Stoics had a clear-eyed view of this, not cold clear. They understood that suffering over what cannot be changed is a choice, not always a conscious one, but a choice nonetheless, and that every hour spent replaying closed chapters is an hour stolen from the ones still being written. Epictetus put it plainly: most of what we suffer, we manufacture in our own minds. Regret is almost entirely manufactured suffering. The event is done. The moment passed. What remains is the story we build around it, and whether that story empowers us or diminishes us is entirely within our control. The question to stop asking is, why did this happen to me? That question has no productive answer. It loops, it spirals. It leads nowhere but back to itself. The question to replace it with is, what did this ask of me? What did it expose? What did it develop in me that comfort never could have? What door did it close that was leading in the wrong direction anyway? When you make that shift, even the most painful chapters of your past start to look different. Not easier, different. Less like wounds to protect and more like landmarks on the way to somewhere better. And here is the grace in all of this. The person who made those past decisions is genuinely not the same person standing here now. Growth is real. Change is real. The whole point of experience is that it changes us. It would be deeply unfair and factually inaccurate to hold your current self accountable for the decisions of someone who knew less, hurt more, and had not yet learned what you now know. Forgive that person, thank them for what they survived, and step forward. My past taught me. It does not own me. Principle 4. Unused potential has a cost. There is something uncomfortable about this truth, so I want to say it carefully and directly. If you are not actively working toward something that is genuinely yours, a vision, a craft, a mission, something that came from the inside and not from expectation or accident, then your potential is being redirected. It goes somewhere. It does not simply sit dormant waiting for you to claim it. It goes to someone else's purpose. That is not a condemnation. It is simply the reality of how unfocused energy works. The world is full of structures that are very good at capturing the time, effort, and creativity of people who have not yet decided what to do with those things for themselves. Marcus Aurelius believed and wrote extensively about this, that every person carries within them a specific nature, a set of gifts and inclinations that are not accidents, and that living in contradiction to that nature is a quiet form of suffering, even when everything on the surface appears fine. There is a particular kind of emptiness that comes not from hardship, but from living someone else's idea of a successful life. You may recognize it. Building something that is yours does not require you to burn everything down and start over tomorrow. Most genuinely meaningful things were built in margins. Early mornings, late evenings, lunch breaks, and weekends. In the pockets of time that exist, if you stop filling them with distraction. The question worth sitting with each morning is not whether you have time. It is what you are doing with the time that already exists. An hour a day, 5 days a week, is over 200 hours a year. That is a book. That is a skill. That is the beginning of a business. That is real, tangible, meaningful progress built entirely from time most people spend passively. The gap between the person you are and the person you intend to become is not talent. It is not luck. It is almost always daily action, applied consistently toward something that actually matters to you. I will invest in my own vision every single day, no matter how small the step. Principle 5. Silence is a strategy. There is a quiet epidemic of premature disclosure. People announce their goals like declarations of war loudly, publicly, and often long before a single meaningful step has been taken. And then they wonder why the energy deflates, why the momentum stalls, why what felt so clear in private feels so uncertain when exposed to the open air of other people's reactions. The answer is not complicated. Dreams are vulnerable in their early stages. They need protection before they need an audience. When you put something new and unformed in front of people, even well-meaning people, you expose it to the full weather system of other people's fears, doubts, projections, and limitations. Epictetus made this observation. The moment you speak about what you intend to do, something in the brain registers a version of completion. The announcement itself produces a small sense of satisfaction, borrowed from the future action you now feel slightly less urgency to take. The solution is to redirect that energy away from declaration and into execution. Work without narrating the work. This also extends to who you allow into the conversation at all. Not everyone is equipped to encounter your dream and respond in a way that helps it. People can only engage with your vision through the filter of their own experience, their own fears, their own ceiling, their own history with risk and ambition. If that filter is limiting, their response to your dream will be limited, regardless of how much they care about you. So, choose the inner circle carefully. Share selectively. Let the work itself carry the announcement when it is ready to be announced. There is something deeply powerful about acknowledging your progress quietly within yourself and letting that acknowledgement fuel the next phase rather than replace it. I protect what I am building. When it is ready, it will speak for itself. Principle 6. The source of advice matters as much as the advice. Every voice that enters your mind leaves something behind. This is not a metaphor, it is neurological reality. What we hear repeatedly, what we engage with consistently, what we allow to frame our understanding of what is possible, all of it shapes the internal landscape from which our decisions emerge. This means the inputs you choose are not passive. They are architectural. They are building something in you, whether or not you are aware of it. Which makes the question of whose voice you allow in one of the most consequential questions you can ask. Marcus Aurelius had no patience for the idea that consensus equals wisdom. He wrote, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject. What matters is whether the person behind the words has actually navigated the terrain they are describing, whether their life, their actual, daily, lived life, reflects the outcome they are advising you toward. This is a clean filter. Apply it consistently. You would not take navigation advice from someone who has never made the journey. You would not accept medical guidance from someone who ignores their own health. Extend that same logic to every domain. When someone tells you that your goal is unrealistic, ask yourself, has this person attempted anything similar? This is not arrogance, it is discernment. It also means tuning toward the right signals with equal intentionality. Seek out people who have done what you are trying to do, or who are meaningfully further along the same path. Study their thinking. Let their actual experience inform your approach, and return, always, to your own inner voice. Not the fearful voice, the settled one, the one that speaks when you are honest and still. That voice knows more than you give it credit for. It deserves to be the loudest one in the room. I choose my influences deliberately. I only let in voices that have walked the road I am walking. Principle 7. The compound effect of showing up. Everything meaningful that has ever been built was built through repetition. Not inspiration, not brilliance, not perfect conditions or optimal circumstances. Repetition. The steady, unglamorous act of showing up again and again and doing the work regardless of how it feels, regardless of visible progress, regardless of whether anyone is watching or applauding. This is the most unsexy truth in personal development, and the most important one. Consistency is not exciting. It does not make for compelling stories. There is no dramatic moment where it all clicks. It is just Tuesday, and you did the thing again. Then Wednesday, then Thursday, and somewhere, months or years, down the line, you look up and realize that all those unremarkable Tuesdays built something remarkable. Seneca observed with striking clarity that the shortness of life is not the actual problem. The problem is what most people do with the life they have. Excuses are the opposite force, and they are deceptively reasonable in the moment. The logic always sounds sound. You are tired. The timing is off. You will be better positioned tomorrow. And sometimes those things are even true. But the pattern they create, the repeated deferral, the perpetual tomorrow is catastrophic in slow motion. By the time the cost is visible, years have passed. The antidote is not motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes based on circumstances you cannot control. The antidote is a commitment so small it cannot be argued with, something so achievable that the only real barrier is the decision to begin. 5 minutes, 1 page, 10 repetitions. a single, honest entry in a journal. Something that takes less effort than manufacturing the excuse to avoid it. Do that every day, without exception. The behavior becomes identity. The daily promise kept to yourself becomes the foundation of unshakable self-trust. And self-trust, once built, changes how you move through every area of your life. You stop needing to be motivated. You become someone who acts regardless. That is not a character trait you are born with. It is a character trait you build. One morning at a time. I do not wait for the right feeling. I show up. Every day I move forward. Finally, 7 principles. A decade compressed into truths you can carry with you starting today. Time does not negotiate. Move with it now. Your mind and body are not separate from your success. They are the engine of it. What is behind you is finished. The lesson belongs to you. The weight does not have to. Your potential will go somewhere. Make sure it goes towards something that is actually yours. Build with your head down and let the results announce themselves in their own time. Let only qualified voices shape the way you see what is possible. And show up, especially when you do not feel like it. Especially then. None of this requires perfection. None of it requires a perfect morning or a perfect plan or a perfect version of yourself. It requires a decision. One decision made fresh each morning to engage with your life on purpose rather than by default. That is available to you tomorrow, the moment you open your eyes. Do not scroll first. Do not drift first. Sit up, breathe, and make the decision before the day makes it for you. I rise with intention. I build with consistency. And I do not wait for my life to begin. I begin it. Say it, write it, live it, because the mornings are yours if you choose to claim them. If you want daily lessons in Stoic philosophy, if you want to build mental discipline, if you want to live with purpose instead of impulse, subscribe to Stoic Mindset, because strength is not loud, it is steady. And here we build it daily.